This is Crazy Kandy, a 1969 Chevrolet Chevelle built by Mitch Kelly, second-generation owner of Kelly & Son out of Bellflower, California. 3 full generations of the Crazy Painters family all live inside this candy maroon body. Every panel, every detail, hand-finished and dialed.
At his company, the Crazy Painters, and you're about to see why you guys are called the Crazy Painters. So we're getting into a 69 Chevelle, and not just a 69 Chevelle. I mean, this car is staggering. First question, did you start with a clean car?
Mitch grew up in this trade. His father, Tom Kelly, founded Kelly & Son. The Crazy Painters family runs deeper than one shop. It is a brotherhood of paint craft passed from hand to hand, and Mitch carries that lineage forward today.
I had a buddy that had a 69. I said, hey, I got this almost done 70. Let me trade you for your 69. That's the one I want to work.
This Chevelle is not a static showpiece. It is a fully drivable Pro Touring Restomod. Modern power, modern handling, candy maroon paint that looks a foot deep, and a stance that makes the whole car sit on the ground like it means it.
I said it, clean through it.
Wow.
You know, you saw holes all over the place. So that's where we started. We actually put a roof on the car and then went down the quarter panel.
Walking up to the car, the first thing you notice is the depth of color. PPG candy maroon laid down by Mitch himself. Hours of cut and buff, no orange peel. The reflection on these flanks looks like wet glass under a streetlight.
When you're up here, this bumper's all the way up against the grill. So all my bumper brackets and everything have all been dropped. The whole bottom of the car, the core support, the radiator, everything comes down. So I know you can't.
Pop the hood and the heart of the build reveals itself. A Pace Performance 525 cubic inch LS stroker, 600 horsepower on tap, forged rotating assembly, aggressive cam, dialed in tune, all packaged like a piece of jewelry under that long Chevelle hood.
All cold air injection. The filter's underneath this thing and this goes right into it.
Oh, wow.
Goes right into our FiTech there.
Now, what motor are you running?
Okay, so this is a cool thing because Pace Performance.
Fueling that LS is FiTech electronic fuel injection. Ultimate headers handle the spent gases, dumping into a full MagnaFlow exhaust. The crackle on overrun is a calling card. A Mattson aluminum radiator keeps the whole thing alive in Southern California traffic.
They put a cam in it. FiTech helped me with the induction system, and you know it's super clean, little neat package. I think now I don't want to get myself in trouble. 13 to 16 grand, and you got a motor that we dynoed right at about 590, 513 to the rear wheels.
Look closer at the engine bay, and you see the level of finish. Powder-coated brackets, polished hardware, tucked wiring courtesy of Ron Francis. Nothing is hidden, but nothing is busy. This is what real shop discipline looks like under the hood.
The car is fun to drive, easy to drive. It's not that violent, but it does move. This thing does move.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you probably have all kinds of reliability with it, I would
Tons,
imagine.
I would say. And gas mileage? I don't know. You want to drive it to New York, I don't think you're going to fill.
Backing the LS is a Tremec manual gearbox. 6 gears, short throws, a clutch that loads up clean. Mitch built this car to be driven hard. No automatic, no torque converter. Clutch in, stick into first, and feel every cubic inch hit the back tires.
What's the trans that goes with this engine?
So there's the Tremec 5-speed, okay, from Silver State. I love this tranny. Once you adjust the clutch is fun, you know, because you got that throwout bearing, that hydraulic throwout bearing, that all that has to be dialed in. And believe it or not, it wasn't me, it was Thomas. My kid figured that out. You know, he did the 125, whatever it is, gap so that it's just perfect, and we bled it, and I love it. You know, it's fun to drive.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, from the bell housing back, a QA1 carbon fiber driveshaft connects the Tremec to the rear end. Lightweight, balanced, smoother on the highway than steel. Less rotating mass means quicker response when you stab the throttle on a back road or coming out of a corner.
Frame? Or
no,
is
it's an RS. It's a Roadster Shop frame.
Got it.
You know, when I'm looking at what Roadster Shop does when they build that frame and you set a car on it, you're miles ahead right from the start.
So there's Wilwood brakes, obvious. We can see that. And I just caught that it's American racing wheels.
Yep.
But I got to imagine you're the one that painted the bezel there.
Yes, and the interface. Yep. Yep.
So you get that.
The rim is powder coated, and they sent over the faces so they're like.
That drive shaft drops into a Currie 9-inch rear end. The 9-inch is the gold standard for this kind of horsepower. Strong housing, strong axles, easy gear changes. With 600 horsepower, anything weaker would be a question mark. This is the answer.
No matter what light you look in, it looks like it's shaded as you go down. So there's a lot of fading going on in this paint, right? I mean, like I see it going this way. I see your stripe that kind of fades off into nowhere back here.
This is PPG paint. PPG's been a sponsor for 20 years now.
Wow, man.
We do a lot of specialty things. A lot of the semis that come in here, he sponsors, he provides the paint for, and we paint for them guys. So this particular base coat color is a quite orangey, pinky base coat. It's got a lot of orange Starfire pearl in it. It has a 190 red pearl in it and then some red toners. So when we start with it, there's also a bit of a raspberry toner and it's fairly dark. And then
underneath this Chevelle is a Roadster Shop Fast Track chassis. Full custom subframe, 4-link rear suspension, integrated coilovers all the way around. The geometry is dialed for autocross grade handling, but soft enough to live with on a real road. Best-in-class engineering.
More black, till we get this bricky pearl base color. It changes about 14 times.
Look down past the rocker and you see how clean the underside is. Powder coat over every weld, stainless lines tucked tight. The Roadster Shop chassis is not just a structural decision, it is a visual decision too. The whole thing looks like an exploded blueprint.
Then we take the Kandy red, the PPG's Kandy red, and put it in the clear coat, and it's just urethane. Do 3 coats of the Kandy red, 3 coats of the clear, color sand it all super flat, put the black stripes on it, another 4 or 5 coats of clear and rub all that out. So that's what you're...
Wilwood big brakes sit at all 4 corners. 6 piston fronts, 4 piston rears, drilled and slotted rotors. 600 horsepower is fun until you need to stop. Wilwood gives this Chevelle the modern stopping power that 1969 Chevy never dreamed of.
From the time you got the 69 from your buddy to the car I see now.
2,000 for me.
2,000.
I calculated about 2,000.
Okay.
Just adding up that you pretty much give up your life for a year when you're doing this.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So,
and I gotta admit, 2,000 hours, I'm a little shocked. I would have expected more, to tell you the truth, because the quality of this build is just so staggering. Just stellar, man. Okay, now we haven't even gotten to the back end, so let's walk back here a little bit. First thing that catches my eye is radically flushed bumper, but it looks like there's more going on here.
kind of same thing with the front. Drop the front, got to drop the back. So
rolling stock is American Racing forged wheels. 20-inch diameter at all 4 corners, polished in powder-coated finish, with that classic 5-spoke profile that always looks right on a Chevelle. The proportion of wheel to fender is something Mitch obsessed over for months.
this whole metal panel is added too. So then we bring it in flush with the top of the bumper. Again, the bumper's cut, okay, narrowed, everything sections, all these things are cut and even so that they're all placed inside there, welded back up by Johnny. The bottom of this thing's bitchin'. We add about 1.5 inches down here. That rolls way in on the bottom. A lot more strength, really good looking from the bottom.
Yeah.
Same for the front. The front has about 1.5 inches on it. That's what the spoiler attaches to.
Wrapping those wheels is Toyo Prox's R888R rubber. 325 wide out back, 305 up front. Both squat 30 series sidewalls. This is real race compound tire on a 1969 Chevelle. It tells you exactly what kind of build this is.
Where the plate fits in, that's all adjusted as well.
Are you ready for this though? Not really.
Oh God, here
That's
we
stock.
go. Nuh-uh.
Yes, sir. That's a stock.
Step inside and the interior continues the story. An ididit steering column anchors the cockpit. Their billet quality components have become the gold standard in Restomod builds, and this Chevelle was the first car ever to host an ididit booth at SEMA.
Let's go into this interior here, dude. I mean, just all the textures going on here, you know, and I can tell.
Look at how bitchin' the door panels.
No, I know.
Look at that.
I know.
You know, this honeycomb. I didn't tell him that. What?
In front of the driver sits a classic dash housing filled with Dakota digital gauges. Old school silhouette, modern brain. GPS speedometer, programmable warnings, full data logging. The driver sees absolutely everything that matters on the road without ever losing the original vintage feel.
You've got 4 or 5 different pieces of material going on here. You've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4 different colors going on here.
And look at the stitching.
I know. It's this interior.
He's doing it.
Now is that starting with the stock panel and changing it, or does he build a whole new, or you don't even know?
I gave him some red lights and he put them in here and they're fucking bitching.
Vintage Air handles the climate. Kicker Audio handles the sound. On a long highway pull, you can run the air conditioning, run the stereo, run the LS at full song, and the cabin still stays civilized. That is the Pro Touring promise.
Or something? Yeah, it looks like it. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice and simple. You keep a semi-stock looking
These are so
cluster.
easy to work with.
Yeah.
They send it out, it plugs in and it works and it does everything you want it to do.
Elegance Auto stitched the upholstery. Saddle tone leather, contrast stitch, custom door panels, every seam planned. Low-car billet pedals and shifter put the right tactile feel under your hands and feet. Every single touch point in this car was upgraded with intention and craft. Now the paint. PPG Kandy Maroon laid by Mitch Kelly himself. Multiple coats of base coat, layered Kandy, then clear cut and buffed by hand. Kandy paint is the hardest finish in the trade. One mistake means starting over. Mitch made 0 mistakes.
It really does accelerate.
It goes.
It's not, like, what'd you say, it's 510 at the tires?
513.
513.
Yeah. And you got to remember, though,
What separates a real Kandy job is depth. You look into this paint and you can see down through layers of pigment that play with light. Under sun, this Chevelle is fire. Under shade, it goes black. Under stadium lights at SEMA, it explodes.
It pulls though, and you know, it's funny to me, this is a conversation we have regularly. Is 500 plus horsepower at the wheels
enough?
It's plenty.
Yeah.
That's enough to do burnouts if you like.
Black accent stripes run the length of the hood and trunk. Subtle, never loud. They visually narrow the car, push the eye toward the wheel arches. This is intentional design language. Mitch is not just a painter, he is a stylist with a spray gun. Black accent stripes run the length of the hood and trunk lid. Subtle, never loud. They visually narrow the car and push the eye toward the wheel arches. This is intentional design language. Mitch is a stylist with a spray gun.
It's really, my opinion on this car is it seems, without driving it, it seems very balanced. Plenty of power to have fun.
Even the small parts carry the build philosophy. Low car shifter and pedals match the Kandy theme inside. The trim is straight and gapped consistently. This is what happens when a painter who runs his own shop builds his own car. Standards above the standard. This Chevelle made its public debut at SEMA 2018 in Las Vegas. Booth 22,989, planted in Hot Rod Alley. The host vehicle for ididit, marking the very first SEMA booth they ever exhibited as a brand at the show. Being the first SEMA host vehicle for ididit was a major moment. ididit is a household name in the steering column world. They picked this Chevelle specifically because Mitch represented the kind of craft they wanted associated with their first booth. At SEMA, the car drew a constant crowd. Press coverage, magazine features, builder respect. Mitch spent the week answering questions from people who knew exactly what they were looking at. That is the highest compliment any builder can earn from peers. The Crazy Painters are a Bellflower-based brotherhood of paint craftsmen. They work out of multiple shops across Southern California, sharing techniques, supporting each other's builds, holding the line on quality together. This Chevelle wears the family colors with pride at every show. Mitch's father, Tom Kelly, is part of that lineage. 3 generations of paint inside one family business. Kelly and Son does collision, restoration, and full custom work. Walk into the shop on a Tuesday and you will see a half-dozen builds in process. What makes the Crazy Painters different is that they are real working shops, not internet personalities, not show-only operations. They put cars on the road every week. Crazy Kandy is a marketing piece, but it is also a daily fired, real-world driver. Stand back and take in the whole package. 600 horsepower under Kandy Maroon paint on a Roadster Shop chassis with forged American racing wheels and Toyo race compound tires. This is what a 1969 Chevelle becomes when a generational painter builds it.
A little more, and it was metalwork and welding and you know, I think Johnny's probably welded 125,000 miles. That's one of the guys that welds for me. You know, I would create the situation and he'd have to weld it up. So it got to a point where I said, that's enough. We got
Mitch Kelly's Crazy Kandy is a thesis statement. It says you can build a car at the top of the craft, take it to SEMA, and still drive it home. Every system, every detail, every coat of paint, done by people who live this trade.
Got what I got going. There's 2 batteries in the trunk. There's a kicker stereo. You know, I'm going to work with Dakota Digital, and that thing shows up and it's able to work with everything. This thing is good.
Wish I could have stayed to see it all done.
Yeah.
But, you had the hood still to go.
Yeah.
You just put the wheels on, but.
And something I didn't know is it was up on blocks.
Yeah.
You thought that was ride height. You know? No, that's not right. We have a '69 Chevelle in the ididit booth. We basically took it was a Malibu, but we took it off the frame, took it down to the bare bones, and then started over. You know, so we did a lot of metal work on it, a lot of metal sculpting, and then we put a nice Kandy fade paint job on it. So it's a bright red pearl metallic, and then it goes down to a black at the bottom, and then we use the PPG's Kandy over the top. Went on nice and even, just starting to fade the colors down the side of it. Yeah. They got a good foundation, good base. If you got problems, they can help you with it. But that paint, it's been really well received, and we've got a lot of videos, a lot of action, a lot of people loving it. A lot of people walk up and telling me they just love the color. We call that Hot Rod Alley, you know, to be down the middle. I've been there a couple of times. I know how prestigious it is to be.
I took a little look at your car here, and it sure looks like you got a lot of energy in it.
Well, yeah, we've got about 500 hours worth of sheet metal work in it now.
Oh, man.
You know, a couple things we started and didn't like where we were going and redid it. One of the things that we've done is we've taken some 70 Impala headlight buckets and we incorporated the rocker panels. You know, they come down nice and even with the Roadster Shop frame. We drop the rear quarter panel rockers 3 inches. So everything from the back to the front's all flowing. When we get it outside, you'll see that it's level across the bottom. You know, it's going to be cool. It's a cool look.
Yeah, and even the taillights, they look stock, but you customize it just enough to make it look really clean.
Yeah, we just took the little bit of a bevel.
And an ididit tilt column, right?
I did it tilt column.
And tell us about some of the other items that are going to be
we're doing some Wilwood brakes, you know. But the neat thing that Wilwood came up with, they have the master cylinder set up that we can hide now. So there's 3 master cylinders, one for the clutch and one for the back brake, one for the front brake.
Oh, wow.
And then there's an adjuster on the pedal. So that you can set that adjuster so that you can just put a little bit less pressure to the back brake, so it's all set up for you. And all that's hidden underneath the dash. Like you said, it's going to be a driver, you know, so we're going to do, we'll do a bed line. I was able to put it outside, you know, with all the metal. It was just metal.
Oh, okay.
You know, we put the wheels on it, we rolled it out there. I think me and Johnny probably set
so much work. We were here, what, a couple months ago?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, it was a while back.
Month, maybe? Month and a half?
You had the car 80% assembled, and you're fitting it all back together.
Yeah, got the motor and the tranny in, and Thomas is helping us with the transmission, putting that hydraulic. He's helped us out with this 525 and They changed the cam out, and they worked with FiTech, and they got this thing to 585, which I'm pretty happy with. That's good power,
Right.
you know. And then they provided us with a TKO 600, which is a 5-speed, which is it's going to be plenty for this fatter belt look that I think, you know, I'm all about the old school, that blower, you know, you're seeing a big blower belt. So to have a big, you're going to help me with the color because I'm going to say it wrong. You know I am.
It's tungsten color.
Tungsten, yeah, thanks. We worked on this earlier.
And Wilwood brakes, right?
Yeah, Wilwood, all coming together there. Really happy with that.
So then we go to the rear end.
Rear end,
Currie.
yeah, we got a Currie 9-inch Ford from them guys. They put it together right with the right gear package for us for that 5 speeds. And then QA1 is going to do us a carbon fiber drive shaft, 3.2 inches, pretty.
Yeah.
So inside the car, we're going to do the kicker stereo system.
Okay.
We've got Greg at Classic Dash. He provided that new dash panel. So this is his 3rd dash panel that he's made for a 69. He's got 3 of them, but this one's got the race cluster in it. And Greg sent that to Dakota Digital with the mini J controller already in it. So they're kind of all working together. Satin finish like the steering column.
Oh yeah, that's right. It all wraps around that. I did the 70 Impala headlight buckets on there. And there was a little bit of controversy. People like it, don't like it, you know. But I tell you, when we see it, the nose, I'm pointing over here because there's a trailer here that the nose is sitting in. And with that faded paint job, it looks nice.
Well, we'll have to see what they think now. You know, when you show it in primer, it's just stark, and there it is. And, you know, it's not done. You know, but the vision in my head of how it all comes together with a nice fade around it, the black headlight bucket, the black grille, you know, it's supposed to be ends coming together. I think we'll lose a few people, but maybe we'll gain some after they see the pictures of that.
Yeah. So we'll be back a couple times before SEMA, and then we'll do an interview at SEMA as well.
Okay, beautiful.
So stay tuned for all that. You know, we're here right now. It's it's September 1st.
Yeah, it is.
You've got
that's scary.
Yeah.
This has been Restomod Muscle Car Finder, signing off from Bellflower, California. Subscribe for more. We will catch you on the next one.